There are many beneficial reasons why investing in a multifamily property for sale is going to be one of the best type of investments that you can make. Even if you're a brand new investor or a seasoned investor, investing in multifamily properties has one of the best and one of the most potential amounts of benefits as when it comes to investing. And that is passive income, cash flow, that is appreciation, lots of demand on the rental properties. There is a faster way to grow your real estate portfolio, and the list goes on that we're going to be talking about specifically in this video, going over why multifamily properties are one of the best type of investments that you can make. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the video and talk about each of these reasons right now. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Hans Weisfeld, local real estate agent here in Miami and in South Florida since 2016, helping those of you that are looking to buy, sell, or invest down here in the South Florida area. And today we're gonna be talking about multifamily properties. I myself own 2 multifamily properties with 5 doors. I own a duplex and a triplex that I currently do Airbnb. This video, we're not gonna be talking about Airbnb or not even talking about my own properties. We're gonna be talking about why multifamily properties are one of the best type of investments that you can make if you are considering investing in a property and you're not too sure if whether to invest in a single family home, a condo, an apartment, a multifamily, land and then build, right? There's a lot of different choices out there. And in this video, I wanna talk to you about the benefits of buying multifamily property. Starting with the first reason, it's gonna be cash flow, reliable cash flow. Why is it reliable cash flow? Let's talk about the difference from this reliable cash flow to compare it to a different type of property. If you buy in a condo, specifically some of my clients buy Airbnb condos, which they have amazing returns, great appreciation. A lot of people get into the Airbnb world. But what could happen? Another COVID, another pandemic, something could happen. A government shutdown on short-term rentals, right? There's a lot of things that can happen. Therefore, if something was to happen in a condo or in a single property that you own and you're doing an Airbnb to just say, hey, guess what? You now are zero in cash flow. Or if you own one apartment or one house and the tenants don't pay you, or it becomes vacant, or whatever the case may be, right? I mean, everybody knows this, but then you're gonna be at zero cash flow for that month or for many months to come. Then you have to pay real estate fees in order to have an agent help you get a new tenant. So you could, once you do your numbers and, during that month or that year, your numbers are gonna be much lower. Again, this doesn't mean that those type of properties are not great for investment, right? There's different options out there. But this is one of the reasons why the multifamily is one of the better investments, because now you're talking about that you have 2 units, 3, 4 units. If you have an apartment building, you could have 8 units, 16 units, right? Really depends on what you buy. But now we're talking about you have a lot more units. So if only one unit doesn't pay you or is vacant, you're really not losing that much money. Of course, if you have a duplex, you have 2 units, you're gonna be losing half, right? Instead of 0, you're at half. If you have 4 units and only 1 unit doesn't pay you or is vacant, you're 25%. So really the risk is much, much less, or even can't even compare, right? The risk of a multifamily to, again, if you only own 1 unit. So one of the benefits is the reliable cash flow that every month you're gonna be getting, right? Even if you have 1 unit vacant, you're still gonna be getting money. The second reason is the financing is actually easier to obtain on a multifamily property than it is on any other single type of property. Everything that has to do with financing has to do with the risk, right? You have to think about it as a bank, and you have to think about it as what risk does this bank want to take with you, the borrower, and with the property itself, right? So when it comes to a multifamily, think about it. The bank is gonna have a lot less risk. Why? Because again, you have multiple tenants paying the mortgage, right? Or if you're a first-time buyer and you go and you buy a multifamily property, you could buy a duplex, triplex, up to 4 units, the bank's gonna know that if you lose your job, you still have income coming in, right? So it's the least amount of risk possible when it comes to financing. Therefore, it makes it a lot easier to finance, right? I have plans that maybe they want to go up to a little bit higher price point, so they could go to a higher price point property if it's a multifamily, because you can use some strategies. And let's just say if it's a 3 units, you can use the rental income from 2 units. Like if you're gonna go live in one, we can use the rental income from 2 units. So now the bank's gonna get your regular income from your job, from your employment, plus these rental incomes from those units. Therefore, you can buy a property for a higher amount than what you could have if there was not a multifamily, or if there wasn't those other 2 units, right? So there's a lot of other things that come to the financing subject or factors of multifamily. I don't want to get too deep into the financing, but it is one of the benefits. It is a lot easier and less riskier to finance a multifamily property. And just to the last little thing about this is that it's crazy, but you can actually buy 4 units, a fourplex, with a 3.5% down FHA loan. Or if you go conventional, you can buy it with a 5%. You buy a triplex for 5% down. So that's why the return is so high, because the amount of your investment out of pockets, right, cash out of pocket, could possibly be so low, and your potential ROI, return on investment, could be so high that it makes it one of the best type of investment properties that you could potentially buy. The third benefit of buying a multifamily property is that it is going to be a lot easier and faster to build your real estate portfolio. If you're looking to become an investor, if you're looking to, in the future retire from your investment properties and not have to depend on a W-2 job, on the government, on your 401ks and your retirement, all of that, like myself, I don't want to depend on that at all. That's why I've started doing real estate investments, from my early ages, so I know that when I retire, I don't have to depend on anyone and I have my properties, right? So if that is something that you do want to do, or that is something that you are already doing, if you're already a seasoned investor, then multifamily investing is the best way to get there. Why? Because now you're buying 4 doors, 8 doors, right? You can go and sell that, right, or do a cash out refinance, or do a HELOC, go to your next property, right? So it's the fastest way to accumulate properties. Imagine you buy an 8plex, right? Like for instance, there's a few in South Florida, you can buy an 8plex for around 1.5 million. Okay, let's just throw a number out there. You're buying 8 units, right? So let's just say that you want to buy 8 units that are not multifamily. Let's just say you want to buy 8 condos or 8 single family homes, or build 8 homes. That is 8 times the work, right? The amount of work you have to go and get, save up the 8 times, and get the lending the 8 times, and pay closing costs the 8 times, and inspectors and fix and this and that. So much that you can't even compare, right? Buying 8 single family homes or 8 condos, 8 apartments, to an apartment building with 8 units, an 8plex, all under one roof possibly, right? Sometimes it's split in 2. You have a 4plex and a 4plex, or whatever the case may be. But that is one of the reasons why most investors get into this type of properties, because again, you can build your portfolio much faster. Another benefit of owning multifamily is that it's gonna be a lot easier to manage and cheaper. Not just easier, but cheaper, right? Because imagine, if you have 8 units, you have properties all over, if you have properties, 8 different units all over the city, let's just say, or even the country, you have to, have a management over there, or this happened here, you have to send the handyman over there, you have to do the roof on this property. If you have a multifamily, you do everything in one house, right? One property management. If you have to do a roof, you do one roof. You have to change something, you change it one time, right? The costs are gonna be much less, and the management of the property is gonna be way less, right? Way less stressful. Therefore, also going back to the previous reason that you can grow your portfolio so much faster with the multifamily. So again, easier to manage as well, and a lot cheaper. Of course, the next benefit is gonna be passive income. Of course, whenever we are looking to invest in a property, we're somewhat looking for passive income. Not every single investor cares about the passive income of it. A lot of investors care about the appreciation, right? So a lot of people buy in a neighborhood that know it's gonna be growing, or whatever the case may be. So there's different reasons why people invest. But definitely one of the benefits of multifamily is going to be cash flow and passive income, right? So let's just say that you make your numbers work for you. Okay, like how I did. So pretty much you make your numbers work for you, you hire a property management, they take care of everything in the property, right? So pretty much it's now being managed, and you're receiving income every single month. So therefore, the income that the property brings is enough to cover all your payments with the bank, all your property management payments, and every other cost and expenses that comes with it. And there's still money left over, right? Which is gonna be cash flow, which is now gonna be considered your passive passive income property, meaning you're making money with not doing anything, right? You have it all covered. That's passive income, and that's what multifamily properties get for you. Yes, a single family home, an apartment, all types of investment properties could, of course, give you passive income, but the multifamily type of properties are gonna give you a lot more of a cash flow and a passive income than, single family properties. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Another reason, at least that how I look at this and what I've seen, is that a lot of the multifamily properties throughout South Florida and possibly throughout the country are a little bit beat up, right? A little bit rough. They're a little bit old. They're outdated. It seems like a lot of people have been owning these type of properties since the 70s and 60s and 80s, right? A lot of families have owned it for many, many years, or whatever the case may be. But I find that most of these multifamily properties are really outdated, so that gives it a lot better potential for you to go in, purchase it, renovate it, make it nice, and have a nice equity from doing this, right? So have really good appreciation just from you putting that sweat equity in, meaning you go in and you renovate or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you don't even have to do that much work. Sometimes it's just painting, changing a few things, and already landscaping, and it already appreciates. Okay, guys, you do have this in the multifamily. It's not like you go to a nice condo building, go in there and renovate, and it's gonna bring the price up. It'll probably bring the price up, right? But hey, they're all similar. Like, it's not like you were able to do anything. In a multifamily, you're able to do so much more, right? Just like a single family home, except that there's a lot of demand for the multifamily. Therefore, you're gonna see it in your appreciation and in your equity. Okay, so that's one of the things that attracts me the most actually to the multifamily, is that I know I could go get an old property, the numbers make sense, everything makes sense. I could go in there, and with all the benefits that I already mentioned that this multifamily properties have, I also have the immediate equity that as soon as I go in there, I renovate a little bit, and that immediately I have equities. That's amazing. That's something that you cannot get in every single property. And lastly, guys, demand is really high for the multifamily and for rentals, right? At least in South Florida, there's a lot of people looking for rental properties. There's a lot of tenants, a lot of people out there looking. So you have that demand of your rental units always. There's always demand, always people looking to rent. So that's one of the concerns a lot of people have, especially out of the state, out of the country. Investors are like, okay, but am I gonna be able to rent it? Is it gonna rent quick? Yes, absolutely. We usually rent within 1 month. Sometimes within days we get a tenant for our units, right? There's a lot of demand. So that's amazing. That's something very positive about this type of properties. And then when you go to resell, there's also a lot of demand when it comes to investors looking to get into this type of investment property type, right? Especially as properties become more expensive, you have a lot of property owners or a lot of primary residents, or owner occupied, that are looking for a multifamily because they can not longer afford a $700,000 home, so they get a $700,000 duplex or triplex, and now they have 1 or 2 tenants that are helping them pay their mortgage down, so now it becomes affordable. So there's a lot of demand, and the demand is gonna keep growing. So that's something that you need to consider and keep that in mind, to know that, hey, the risk going in this is very low, and the appreciation, the potential is very, very high. Now, if you're looking to invest in a multifamily property down here in South Florida, feel free to reach out to my team and I. You have all my contact information down below in the description. You can send me a WhatsApp, Instagram, email, phone call, text. I'll be more than happy to get in touch with you. We can set up a private one-on-one Zoom call, talk about everything in more detail. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video has helped you, and I see you in the next video.